The HP Outdoors Waterfowl podcast is fueled by Yukanuba. If you want to get the most of your dog in your training sessions, you need nutrition that holds nothing back. Yukanuba's new premium performance lineup is built with the nutrients dogs need to help unleash their max potential. That starts with providing energy that matches their efforts, supporting optimal nutrient delivery, and supporting post-exercise recovery. Check out the new Yukanuba premium performance lineup and find your dog's fuel at yukanubasportingdogs.com. You are listening to the HP Outdoors Waterfowl Podcast. The HP Outdoors Waterfowl Podcast is powered by Cornerstone Gun Dog Academy. CGA is the world's most comprehensive online gun dog training resource. They've got over 160 instructional videos that includes everything you need to take your 7-week-old puppy to a finished gun dog. Visit cornerstonegundogacademy.com to sign up for the free preview module and begin your training journey today. Cornerstone Gun Dog Academy, the most advanced gun dog training resource on the web. Gunner kennels are engineered for your dog, designed for travel, and built for your peace of mind. The G1 kennel has set a new industry standard and put Gunner in a category all its own. They were started to protect your pet, and it continues to be at the center of everything that they do. Gunner is dedicated to building the best and safest pet travel crate on the market because man's best friend deserves man's best kennel. Check out their G1 series of kennels and accessories at gunner.com. All right, here we are, Module 5, the fifth and final module of the Foundations of Waterfowl Hunting course, brought to you by HP Outdoors. In this lesson, we're going to talk about how you transport your harvest. So you've gone through all the things you needed to do to have a successful hunt, and now you've got some birds that you need to take care of. And there's a couple things that you need to pay attention to when you're doing this. The biggest one that you probably see most guys do wrong is you're required to ensure that each hunter is responsible for their daily bag limit and their possession limit. If you need a refresher on what those are, what daily bag limits are, and what possession limits are, you can head back to Module 1 where we cover those terms. But in essence, most guys will pile their birds up, throw them in the back of a pickup truck, drive where you're going, what have you. And if you never get checked, that's probably fine. But if you were to get checked by the letter of the law, each hunter needs to have their bag limit or their possession limit accounted for. Not just sort of in a pile of birds, to ensure that each person is held accountable for the birds that they took. And there's also some different requirements that you need to meet while you're transporting, other than just, have them separated by, for each individual per their daily bag limit or possession limit.
Yeah. Some of the requirements, and this is, a lot of social media, like you said, you see just big piles, right? And then, someone throws them in the truck and you head out. Now you see a ton of the, toe tags, people zip tie all their birds together. You have everything written down, and essentially you cannot put or leave waterfowl in any place or in the custody of another person unless you tag the birds. That tag has to have your signature, address, the number of birds identified by species, and the date that you killed them. So that's pretty easy to do, especially, like I said, the toe tags, having something like that, zip tie yours, make sure that you correctly identify the species that you are labeling, and you should be good to go. Now, something to be, if you're going on a guided hunt or out of state, when you're transporting waterfowl, a lot of people like to go back to the lodge, go back wherever you're at, and clean birds. If you are taking them across state lines, either the head or one fully feathered wing of each bird must be left intact for identification. And in some states, both the head or the head and the wing must remain intact. So make sure you know where you're at. Make sure you know the laws of where you're going, and that's until the bird is transported to the hunter's home or until it is otherwise utilized, such as cooked or packaged for consumption at a later date. So you can definitely get in trouble. A lot of people do, and I would just recommend that when you are hunting, make sure that if you're in layout blinds, put your birds behind your blind. And I say that from experience. We've been checked, and if you had one big pile and a warden comes out and asks you, who shot what, and you have a pile of 30 birds there and 8 guys, then you're going to look pretty silly trying to pick out the birds that you shot. So keep yours separate, and it makes things a lot easier if you are to get checked.
Yep. So simple, little bit of accountability, making sure that you're tracking your birds and keeping your pile and your everything tagged and labeled, and you should be good to go. So we'll go ahead and jump on to the next lesson where we'll talk a little bit about how to clean your ducks and geese. That's going to do it for this episode of the HP Outdoors Waterfowl Podcast. If you're new to the show, head over to iTunes, check out some of our past episodes, and while you're there, leave us a 5-star rating and review. It's the best way for like-minded hunters just like you to find our show. Check us out on social media. Check us out over at hpoutdoors.com and anywhere you can find quality podcast content. That's going to do it for this week. Till next time, for Dan, I'm Josh. Take care.